Good morning. For this lesson, we will be discussing about changing a repeating decimal to a fraction. So in the previous lesson, we discussed the decimal representation, which is the terminating and the repeating decimal. So in this video, we will be discussing how to convert the repeating decimal to a fraction. So for this lesson, we will discuss how to convert a repeating decimal to a fraction. So there are several steps to consider also in this topic. So identify the repeating part of the decimal. This is the part of the decimal that repeats indefinitely. For step 2, we have to set up an equation. So we have let x equal the repeating decimal. And then multiply the equation by the 10 to the p, where p is the number of digits in the repeating block. So this power of 10 should move the decimal point to the right such that the repeating part aligns with itself. And for the step 4, subtract the two equations. So we have to subtract the original equations from these new equations to eliminate the repeating part. And then solve for x, and then the last steps is we have to simplify the fraction if possible. Note that there are some cases to consider where the repeating decimals places repeat. So we have case 1 and case 2. For the case 1, repeating sequence starts immediately after the decimal point. Example, as you can see here, 0.6666, the repeating part or the repeating block is 6, no? And it's after the decimal point. Another example, 2.3333. And as you notice, the repeating block is 3, no? And it's after the decimal point. And the last example is 7.5555. And we can see here in this example that still the repeating sequence starts immediately after the decimal point, which is the 5 now. For the second case, repeating sequence starts after some non-repeating digit. So for example, as you notice here, the first example is 3.1232323. The repeating block is 23. And it's after 1, or the non-repeating part or the non-repeating digit is 1. So right after 1. And then example 2, 0.3544. As you can see here, the repeating block is 4. And it's right after 35. And then the last example is 2.2523333. And we notice that the repeating part is only the 3, no? And it's right after 252. So let's have an example on how to convert these several cases. So let's try. So we start first on the case 1, which is the repeating sequence that starts immediately after the decimal point. So for example, find the fractional form of 0.6666. So for the step 1, we have to identify the repeating part of the decimal. Can you guess what is the n? No? So in this example, the repeating part is 6. And then for the step 2, so we have to set up an equation. So we will let the number by x, which is x is equal to 0.6666. And then for the steps 3, we have to multiply the equation by 10 to the p. And in this example, our p is equal to 1 because we identify in the step 1 the repeating part is only 6 and only 1 number, no? Thus, we will multiply the equation in step 2 by 10 to the 1 over 10. And then we will get, so we will multiply 10 over 1, which is equal to 10, to step number 2. So we have 10 times x is equal to 10 times 0.6666. And then 10 times x is just 10x, and then 10 times 0.66666. So we move the first decimal because we have one, or we will multiply that one by 10. So we got 6.6666. So still the repeating exists, no, 0.6666, the repeating block. And then for the step number 4, we have to subtract the two equations from step 3. Then we will subtract the equations from step number 2. So from step number 3, we got 10x is equal to 6.6666, no, and so on, minus from the equations of step 1, which is x is equal to 0.6666, and so on. So 10x minus x is just 9x, and then 6.666 minus 0.6666, no, and so on. We got 6, no. So we have 9x is equal to 6. And then for the step 5, we have to solve for x. So from the step number 4, we have 9x is equal to 6. Then solve for x, so we have to multiply by 1 over 9, or divide by both sides by 9. So we got 6 over 9. And then for the last step, we have to simplify the fraction. So to simplify 6 over 9, still the same, we have to find the greatest common denominator of 6 and 9. And in this case, our GCD is 3. So from our fraction, which is x is equal to 6 over 9, so 6 divide 3, and then 9 divide 3. So 6 divide 3 is equal to 2, and then 9 divide 3 is equal to 3. So therefore, the fractional form of 0.6666 and so on is equal to 2 over 3. So that's how we convert the repeating decimal into a fractional form. Okay, thank you. So for this lesson, we show to you how to convert the repeating decimals to fraction. So in the next video, I will be elaborating more examples in order to understand this topic. Thank you. See you in the next video.